it's Gianna Love with Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news on crypto blockchain technology. Together, we're building a crypto movement that fights climate justice and economic empowerment. We have a very special guest on our show today. We have Jesse Williams from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he has a project called the Digital Time Capsule. You want to wave hi? You can wave hi to our audience, Jesse.
Hello.
I'm still in New York. I just had bad Wi-Fi today, so we're actually in my living room instead of my bedroom today. So hopefully you can all hear me okay. Because we have a special guest on our show, we like asking our guests a special question first. So Jesse, I want to ask you, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word crypto and why?
The first word that comes to mind for me is democracy. At the moment, so the reason for that is at the moment, the way that our current economic institutions are set up, most countries are run by a central bank. And at least in the United States, I can't speak for other countries, but in the United States, the citizens of this country never really get to pick who is in charge of the central bank. We get to pick the person who picks who's in charge of the central bank, being the president, but we never have that source of direct democracy. And then furthermore, even still, even if we did get the choice to pick directly the chairman of the Federal Reserve, that's still a point of centralization that I just don't think I'm comfortable with as far when it comes to where I store my value. And so that's why I'm enthusiastic about it. Democracy it is.
Very nice. Yeah. Crypto is decentralized. It's controlled by the people, and it can be less corrupt because you don't have somebody who can hide where they're bringing the money. It's all transparent on the blockchain.
Yep.
Exactly. I want to dive into your story, how you got started in the blockchain space, and what your project is, the Digital Time Capsule.
So I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I went to college in a town called Normal, Illinois. So I went to Illinois State University. There I focused on math. I got my degree in math with the focus in education. And then after leaving Illinois State University, I pursued a master's degree in bioinformatics, and that's kind of where I got introduced to computer science. Anybody familiar with bioinformatics, that you know that it's a Frankenstein of a subject. It's math, statistics, biology, and a lot of machine learning. And so there is where I kind of transitioned from math into the biological and the computer sciences. And I don't know if I mentioned that I went to University of Illinois in Chicago for that one. And then after finishing that, I started a PhD and dropped out. It was already tough, but they kind of kicked my ass in the PhD program. So I left there, took a minute to reflect. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just took some time off. I got into a web development gig. And then I was doing that for maybe like 6 months. And then a friend of mine had introduced me to Bitcoin. This was maybe like December of 2019 when he introduced me to Bitcoin. So I'm kind of new in the space. I'm not one of the OGs, but specifically what he introduced me to was how the blockchain actually like how the blockchain was actually set up and structured. So after hearing about the consensus algorithm, the consensus mechanism, the fact that there is a consensus that must need to be reached before transfers can be made, the transparency of the transparent nature of how blockchains are, that's kind of when I went down the blockchain rabbit hole. I did that for about a year. I was into Cardano heavy. I still am. That's my favorite blockchain at the moment. So I was heavy into Cardano. And then I was just looking for other projects and stumbled upon Algorand. I'm a fan of them too. And then back in May of 2021, Definity had launched, which is the company who is leading the development of the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain. And so I went down that rabbit hole, and here I am today. I have a app deployed on that blockchain.
From my understanding from your email, Digital Time Capsule is basically a time capsule on the blockchain that's locked in for a total of up to 10 years, correct?
Up to 10 years, yep.
Okay.
So it's not just a time cap, it's a journal too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to lock anything. Well, let me rewind a little bit, because to talk about the digital time capsule, I kind of got to talk about the blockchain, because the security system, I'm sure people are going to want to know, how is this secured? How do I know that, nobody else is going to access it? Because these are your personal thoughts. A lot of people are very private with their journals. Naturally, that's the nature of journaling. And so you want to be assured that nobody is going to be able to, get access to your journal. And that's why I didn't go with the traditional username and password approach. And so just rewinding a little bit, it's built on the Internet Computer Protocol. This blockchain is, in addition to having a ledger and, a governance system, it's also a web hosting platform. So it's meant to rival Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. It's meant to rival these big data companies, these big centralized data companies that offer a single point of coercion for any institution. A lot of these blockchains are decentralized, but the issue is they're hosted in data centers that, if a government or any influential institution came up and twisted their the data center's arm, the blockchain, it really doesn't matter how decentralized the blockchain is if nobody can access it. If it's too esoteric for the regular common person to be able to access it. And so that was the motivation behind the Internet Computer Protocol. Is meant to offer a decentralized web hosting platform, so that you don't have this point of failure that is a centralized data center. And so that's the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain. Some of the cool features that come with it is it comes with a security feature. It comes with, of course, the ledger that you'll be doing interactions with. And I think that's enough for now. I don't want to get too technical and lose everybody. So, but the security feature is cool because it gives you access to not just your crypto wallet and it doesn't just give you access to a private crypto wallet. It also gives you access to any platform that is built on the Internet Computer Protocol that uses the security feature, which is most of them. That's why a lot of developers like it, for the security feature. So you got some social media apps that are running completely on the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain, like Distrikt, which is like a LinkedIn, Twitter type social media platform. You got Discover, which is kind of like a Reddit. And then you got the Internet Computer, which is like a private, not Internet Computer, you got the Digital Time Capsule, which is, what we're here to talk about today, which is a platform for you to be able to journal, kind of express yourself, reflect on yourself at the end of the day, and lock away your things of sentimental value. It's also a crypto wallet. At the moment, you're only able to hold ICP tokens, but in the future, I'm planning to expand it so that once the Internet Computer brings Bitcoin integration, soon thereafter, I'll be integrating Bitcoin into my app so that you'll be able to hold Bitcoin there. And then after that, they'll be bringing Ethereum to the network. And then soon thereafter, I'll be integrating it into my app.
Were you considering any other blockchains too before you went into Internet Computer Protocol, or did you really just see like, whoa, they have these really secure functions, these are the things that I need for my project specifically. This is why I'm using Internet Computer Protocol.
Before I wasn't originally planning on, I always knew I wanted to build an app, right? I wanted to build something like I'm a creator. And this is the canvas that I'm proficient at. This is where I'm best, where I work best at. And so I knew I wanted to build something. I didn't know what. I knew the challenges that I had with legacy platforms. Legacy platforms, you need a team of people. No one developer is going to be able to be able to build an app, not within any realistic or reasonable time frame. You need about 12 people. You need somebody specifically for back end, somebody specifically for front end, somebody for database management, somebody for network. You need a whole gang of professionals, two for each profession, for each two for each niche area. And so I was, before the internet computer came across my radar, I was originally just kind of scouting, trying to find my network of people that I would be creating with. So I didn't have this plan to build it on any other blockchain because I didn't really have a plan to build it until I saw this one. So that, I think that was your question. Yeah, I think that answered it. It's your question. But I do like other blockchains, but this one makes it easier for a single developer to be able to, actually work and make progress and put something together. It's still a lot of work. I've been working on it for about 10 months now, and I only just launched it 2 days ago. So it still took me it still took me 10 months of research, development, and coding, but I was able to do it by myself without having to need a whole team of other professionals just as smart or smarter than myself. So it's cool for that. It's very developer friendly.
Gotcha. Well, congrats on your recent launch.
Thank you.
I want to ask you this question. Hopefully you don't feel too much on the spot for this, but because it's a decentralized time capsule, what downfalls do you see potentially in the future, and how are you addressing those?
First, it's a time cap. It's not decentralized yet.
Okay.
It's hosted on a decentralized blockchain, but technically it's not decentralized because it's not governed and controlled by a community. Right now, I'm still developing it. All the changes that come along, they come through me first. So at the moment, it's not decentralized, but that is something that I like to work towards. How I'm addressing the lack of decentralization at the moment. I'll be releasing a roadmap to map all of this out. But at the moment, what I do want to do is, so after I work out some of the kinks, do a little bit more perfecting of the application, make it a little more accessible, do a little more seeding of the community. After I do that, the next thing that I want to do, the very next thing I want to do is create the crypto token that I'll be using in order to control the governance system that I'll be creating after I create the crypto token. And so I want to be able to get community involvement, I want to be able to get community involvement, get community input, community maintenance. This is a lot for one person to be doing. And so I would like to be able to outsource a lot of the help from people who also have a stake in it, which is why the cryptocurrency is going to be needed, and the governance system is going to be needed. That's going to take a while. Development takes long enough with a team of people. At the moment, I'm a one-man band. So, and then, anybody I do bring on has to fit. So that's the goal. That's in the plan, that's in the roadmap. But assuming when it does get to that point, when it is decentralized, the downfalls of it is that anybody who uses the platform, you're subject to the consensus of the group. And so that's the downfall of the downfall of this platform is the downfall of democracy. I mean, I wouldn't call it a downfall, I would call it a drawback. It's you're subject to the consensus. So it'll be way less control on my part because at the moment I get to, you know, it's still my canvas that, you know, people are subscribing to and saying, you know, deciding if they want to be a part of. But as it becomes more and more decentralized over time, it'll be less about my canvas and more about the canvas of the community. What do we all decide on? How do we develop and grow the app as we as a community see fit? And so that would be the drawback, but I don't think that's much of a, personally, I don't think that's the end of the world. I mean, we live in a society, we have to, and I think that's better than any single person being in control of something that's so precious. Like this is a platform where people will be storing their monetary value and they'll be storing their sentimental value all in one spot. So if you got, you know, if you could have a lifetime worth of journal entries, and that's something that could easily become a family heirloom, something that parents could easily pass down to their children. It's something that could easily, I want it to outlive me. Like I want this platform to outlive me, and it can't do that if it's centralized. It has to be decentralized because there has to be a community of people maintenance in it. So something that important is kind of a lot for one person to be at the helm of it. I don't want that responsibility all by myself. So, you know, I would like for a community to kind of help me to relieve me of a lot of the burden that comes with it. But it is a vision that I do want to realize. So it's a burden that's, you know, I'm content to bear until it gets to the point where it is decentralized.
How do you plan to grow your community then and eventually compete with something like Google that's more centralized and all these big tech giants?
I just wrote in my journal entry this morning because I was thinking about it, like, how do I get more users? Like I can tell people and I can tell people again, but you know, like people are either going to want to join it or they're not. And so I was sitting there trying to figure out a marketing strategy. And the only thing that really gave me peace was just reminding myself that if I build it, they'll come. If I build something that's nice, that people can see that they like, that people can see themselves using over the course of their lifetime and then passing on to their children, then they'll come. And so I'm operating under that assumption, not gonna worry too much about the marketing, at least at the moment. I'll make the changes. The people who come to the platform, I'll do stuff like this interview with you, and you know, try to build my network of crypto journalists. But I gotta pick my focus. And marketing is a job in and of itself. You know that because you're growing the whole brand. So I gotta pick my focus, and at the moment, it's the engineering. When I get to a point where I feel like it's the engineering is solid and I can, you know, delegate to a community of people a lot of the engineering responsibilities, then I can focus more on marketing, but one at a time, at least for now.
Definitely. I'm glad that you're building from the ground up first and making sure you have a solid project first. But
yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
I should add, I just deployed it 2 days ago. So this is still very much beta testing territory. So for everybody who does check it out.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think projects like this that are solid, that have done the research, are the ones that are going to last in the future. Yeah, just the sad thing right now is there's all this other hype, all these other trash tokens and all these other things that end up growing faster for a little bit because they just put more effort into their marketing than their actual engineering. But I think they won't last as long as something like this. But in the future, once you are solid with that, in order to compete with the things like Google, you probably will have to put a little bit more energy in just like growing your community a little bit more. Because I've also
Definitely.
seen some really strong projects that they have really good fundamentals. They have done the research behind it, but they just haven't been telling people about it yet. And they just haven't grown as much as maybe they should have because they're such a well-done project. So I want that to happen with your project too, that you just like keep kind of quiet about it and then Google takes off and there's no way to compete with it after that.
I think it's still early though. Like a lot of these projects, we got a lot of good projects that have been quiet, but building those fundamentals, you have to be confident in a project before you really can. Like I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. Me evangelizing my app as the world's best app is not going to be something I'm comfortable with right now, because I still got a lot of stuff that I need to do. So I'm not going to try to go and hit the ground running and get all this money and funding. And now I'm, like, now I'm feeling anxious. Like, that'll make me anxious. I won't even want to keep working on the project at that point. If it got to the point where so many people, where I've sold everybody something that wasn't accurate, like, transparency is probably one of the best practices that I've adopted over the years, and just being honest where you at with the project. Right now in the project, I have something that I'm comfortable with putting out as a beta test. And getting the community feedback, getting the letting the community help me with the quality assurance, the testing and all that stuff. Because that stuff takes a long time. Like, that's something that a community of people could help me do. They can help me test the app. Let me know if there's any bugs that I need to fix. Let me know what features I need to add. Let me know what will make this a better app. That's something that one person is not going to be able to service a community. That, if I'm the only person coming up with all the ideas for it. Like, so that's where I'm at. I'm ready to, start outsourcing to a community, and start getting the feedback and start using that to guide the development process.
So where do you see your project, say, in the next 5 years? Let's start with 5 years.
In the next 5 years, I would like to have, in the next 5 years, so that's a good question. In the next 5 years, I would like to have a governance system set up in place that uses so a cryptocurrency, a crypto token for the Digital Time Capsule set up. I would like to have a governance system set in place. I would like to have a well-seated community that's active, that actually gives feedback, that's contributing to the community. I would like to have community time capsules. So, something where content creators, gamers, like, I don't know, whatever people do to make content, you could be able to go on there and create your own community, and maybe have like a system set in place where you can put up 10 things to, up for consideration amongst the people in your community to submit to a community time capsule. And so I would like to take it from 100% personal and siloed to just your journal, to something that you can build your own community of people, and you all can, as a collective, submit digital time capsules. To do that, there needs to be a concept of there needs to be a element of permanence to this, which is, again, why you can't do username and password, which is why the security feature for the blockchain is good, because as long as that blockchain lives, your security lives. You can't say that with the username and password type of platform. If you don't change that every 6 months, somebody might hack it, and now you done lost 17 years worth of memories. Is all gone. Somebody can hold your memories worth for ransom, in addition to your cryptocurrency. These things, in order to have that element of permanence, there has to be a sustainable, like, the tokenomics have to be sustainable. The governance system has to be sustainable. There needs to be a way to upgrade the code. There needs to be a way for, like, to delegate votes, because every time you upgrade the code, that'll have to come by way of governance. And if that's coming by way of governance, you need to have somebody who's actually qualified to be able to peer review this code before it's voted upon. And the common user is just like, we can't expect everybody who used the platform to have a bachelor's degree in computer science. So yeah, there has to be some form of liquid democracy to it. There's a lot to do, and it may take more than 5 years, but in 5 years, I would like to have at least, it's gonna take more than 5 years, not even maybe. It'll probably, I think the platform will be to the point where it doesn't need me anymore. It's its own community with its own developers, and it's self-sustaining, and it's an actual decentralized autonomous organization. It'll get there maybe in like 10 years. I don't know. But I don't know. I try not to focus on the time because then I get impatient. So but it'll take a while. I try to just focus on one thing at a time. And right now that's seeding the community, finding people who like the vision, who want to subscribe to it, and who want to check it out and help me with their, by giving me that feedback.
Gotcha. So I know you just launched, but how can our community here help you with your project, or how can they get involved if they want to? Is there an opportunity for that yet?
From start to finish, how would you get involved in the app? You would navigate to the app. It's going to give you an option to log in with your internet identity. If you don't have one, that's fine. Still press that button. They're going to prompt you to create one. You take the 15 seconds, create your internet identity. Be sure to keep your 24-word recovery phrase safe. Store it somewhere off, non-electronically. So store it somewhere safe. And then after you've made that, they're going to redirect you back to my app. And then you'll be logged into the app. And now you officially have your time capsule. So in order to, so part of the tokenomics of it is that you are required to have one ICP, so one Internet Computer Protocol token in your wallet in order to be able to post journal entries. So you'll be able to post like your biographical information. You'll be able to start a preface. You'll be able to dedicate your journal somewhere on the homepage. But if you want to start posting time capsules or journal entries, you'll have to hold at least one ICP. And the reason for that is there's a few reasons for that. One is that it makes it prohibitively expensive for anybody to spam the network. You would be surprised at how many people just like to ruin projects just because they can. So I had to create some way to discourage that type of behavior. And so requiring that if somebody is to spam this network, they would have to have one ICP in their journal in combination with a fee to remove it from their journal. Those two makes it prohibitively expensive for somebody to code a bot to be able to spam and just congest this whole congest the network. So create an internet identity, buy one ICP token, which is I think it sells for like $19 right now. We're in the middle of a downturn, so it might be down to like $17 or something like that. So purchase one ICP token, send it to your Digital Time Capsule wallet, and then you'll be able to use every feature of that. You'll have access to it.
Cool. I'll have your info linked down below if anyone wants to get involved with that.
Okay. Just as a disclaimer, all of the apps on the Internet Computer, so the URL for them is the canister ID, which is kind of like the canister, the smart contract ID number. It's the smart contract ID number followed by like IC something. So it looks weird. It's not a human readable link. So I just want people to know that so that they like, they're not like, what is Gianna directing me to? But so if the link to it looks weird, don't be alarmed. There are naming systems that are being built on the Internet Computer as we speak. So there will be human readable domain names to these apps and everything too. So I actually have that on my to-do list to go get a human readable domain name. But yeah, you'll be able to navigate to that link, and then I'll also I'll send you any pertinent information that I think would be good to include in the description. Amazing. After this.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. Thanks for sharing about your project, and yeah, best of luck to you to grow this project and make this a timeless thing in the future.
Thank you. I'll keep you in the loop with updates that happen with my growth, and then maybe I can come back on, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, and kind of give you a progress report.
That'd be great. That's it for us today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Feel free to share this with your friends if you enjoyed this content. I'll give you Jess's info as well down below, and we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
See you later.